Thank you for watching. Don't be scared, I'm not going to be yapping for another 10 or 20 minutes about this car, because I did that in previous episode. This is my HPI Baja. I'm running a Kraken Class 1 cage on it. Thing has a ton of options. If you want to see what's in there, then have a look in the playlist, because this video will be added to a playlist about my HPI Baja. In the past, I had several different body options on my Baja, and one of them has been Pro-Line Beetle, which you can see over here. Most likely because I got a really good computer right now, so I'll be putting a picture there or wherever there's place, so you can have a look at that. What I like about the Beetle is it's really true scale as well, and I like the fact that I painted that one a few years ago, and well, I'm still digging that paint job, but it does need a touch up. And well, with the Class 1 as it is right now, I will not be able to run it. The front is in the way, and the doors are in the way. Light rack is in the way of me putting the Beetle body on. But I do want to see if I can combine the two. And you're not supposed to do that. So let's go ahead and see if we can. One of the main issues if you want to put on that Pro-Line Beetle body is the front. This front end is quite flat, and it goes quite high up over here on the tip of the nose. So in order to fit the Beetle has a nose that goes down slightly. Well, I do need to hack this up, which I think would be a shame, or I can just take off the whole front end. There's I don't even know, there's like 9 bolts holding this part of the cage to the center part of the cage. Well, you're not able to tell, but you know, took the bolts out of the panels already, and the whole front end is already bolted off, so I can just go ahead, show you guys what you actually need to take off in order to test fit your shell. That's pretty close. Now on to the only part that I didn't like about this Pro-Line shell, which is the molded in engine. You know, you might think that you can do a really scale paint job with it, but you know, I think an engine like molded out like that in Lexan, that's just a no-no. So I hacked it off because well, I need to have some space anyway in the back over here to fit it over the exo cage, which will stick out over here with the spare tire. This is just a rough cut. I will mark it up exactly after I test fit it and put it on, and we'll also see if I need to take another notch out for that spare wheel. You can tell I almost completely stripped down the Kraken cage. The only panels that are still left on are the ones on the side over here, the spoiler, and the ones in the back. Other than that, I took everything off, took out these bolts that hold the front end into place. For those who wonder what that looks like, here's the front end. And well, you can tell there's a lot of holes over here to bolt it to the center part of the cage. Just took those out. I will save this whole part of the cage, so I don't have to modify it. Later on I can just run it as it was. And by pulling out that part of the cage, I also have this front bumper freed up, which I can push forward a tiny bit. Gives me some extra room so I can see how far that hood will drop down. Afterwards, to put this into place again, I will see, I think the stock bumper brace of the 5T that I had on the car previously is a bit longer than this Kraken one. So I will see if I can bolt that into place and get the right angle by doing so. And I will also have to use the front body mount that came with the 5T conversion. Put that in here, connect the bumper to it, and then eventually put the Beetle body on there. For now, I'll show you what that rough cut did. It's me bumping into furniture again. You can tell it's not too bad of a fit. I will slide those Kraken pins. I will slide them through the body, through the Kraken cage, and eventually through those side rails that you get for the 5T conversion. Line it up completely, and then I will have a look to see how much I need to cut out in the back of the body over here. Let me get that spare wheel, so you can see that right now it actually rests on top of the body a bit. So we need a tiny bit more clearance over here, and in addition I want to put the Kraken True Scale light rack on top of the roof, kind of like so. Well, you can tell I got a bit of a clearance issue going on over here with the top of the tire. Going to do a tiny rough second cut over here first to make sure that the body is fully dropped down and dead center. Afterwards I'm going to put on this wheel again, going to take my marker, stripe this off so I know how far to cut. Some of you might recognize this shell if you know me from the forums or whatnot. You will also see that it's really scuffed up because I've had it for a few years and put it through its paces throughout those years. And you will also see that there's a lot of paint missing. Why do I always use Tamiya, or however you want to call it, paint? I always call it Tamiya paint. It's because Tamiya paint actually sticks. The missing areas of paint over here, that's thanks to a company called Giant RC. If you have their paints, please do yourself a huge favor and just throw it in the bin, because as you can tell over here, it does not hold up. This body was properly prepped when I painted it, and the only paint that fall off was the Giant RC paint that I will never be using again in my life. So keep that in mind. Well, you can tell I took that crease that's in the top over here and followed that. It also looks like I had a really hardcore party weekend somewhere in a drug lab in Bolivia again, but this is just Lexan powder from me dremeling this bit out. Right now I've got that wheel. Well, you can tell that this is a no-go, so I'm going to mark that up and well, see how that goes. Afterwards I think I'm done so far cutting up at least the rear section of the body. If I need to cut up something in the front to make the bumper fit, then I will show you. Small change of plans here. As you can tell, I marked up the wheel where that's supposed to go, and I think it's taking away that much of the body in the end over here. I'm ending up inside that rear window, so instead of just cutting out that bit, I'm going to cut out this whole rear window section. I want to do something different with the windows anyway. This was before the time when I found out that painting a tiny strip of black around your windows and some matte on the outside will make your truck look more realistic. So that's something that I'm going to apply to this truck anyway. Masking an old body, remasking it and repainting it. With me needing to touch up these surfaces anyway. It's basically a tiny hassle to just do that as well. But for this rear window, I think I'm just going to cut it completely, and it will also make sure that I can still see my resis once I've mounted them. Those are the extra shock reservoirs, and it will expose a tiny bit more of this Kraken Class 1 cage. Well, you can tell cut it out, the whole thing, so well, I sort of got like a whole boot lid here that I won't be using. I really like this. It exposes I think the right amount of the rear of that cage, making it not giving you just a tiny hint of there being a complete roll cage under there, but a bit of a bigger hint. Also, when I put the resis up here again, you will be able to see them, and the lines going to those resis as well. So I think that's nice. Right now it's onto the front. Well, with the help of my €5 pink campsite lamp, you'll be able to tell that these two parts over here, this one and this one, I cannot get those to line up in the current setup. It is really close, but I don't want to hack up the nose of the bug just to make it fit. So in order to try something else, I also pulled out the stock bumper. Let's have a look at the differences between that stock 5T bumper and the Kraken one. I couldn't push the Kraken bumper further up than this, and I really need it to be like this in order to make it fit. These are the front body posts that I'm going to use for the Beetle shell to put it on again. This was also what was on the car before I fit the Kraken. This will push through, but yeah, well, then the bumper will be too high. So what I need to do is I need to figure out a way to lower the bumper a tiny bit. And I'm thinking of seeing if I can adapt this stock 5T bumper brace and bolt that in its original position down here and get a bit more of an angle going on. This is the stock HPI 5T bumper brace. It's a tiny bit wider than the Kraken, so I need to hack it up. I think I need to take out about a centimeter from the width in order to make all of these holes line up and to make sure that I can put a lock nut on the other end. I will do that in the top and in the bottom to make sure that it's properly fitted. This part over here is also a stock HPI part, which you will find if you have a HPI Baja 5T or an SC, and it will make sure that I can put 2 body pins in the front of that Beetle body to keep it in place. Right now I'm going to drop the body back on, and I'm going to see if I can bolt that Kraken light rack to the roof, and after that I'm going to wash down the body and see if I can touch up the paint. Now, because I really want to give this shell a second life, I want it to look brand new. I used some regular car polish to get rid of all these tiny scuff marks that I had on there from using it. It's close to good, close enough. I need to make sure to degrease it properly first before I start masking it up. And I also need to account for the fact that there's no clear overspray film on the outside, so I need to properly cover it up. I will cover up the larger areas using some newspapers, and then the detailed sections that I want to touch up, I'm going to mask those with masking tape. I will be adding black trim around all of the windows. I'll be painting that on the inside. Afterwards I'm going to give the black trim a flat clear coat on the outside. It's a simple technique, but I think it adds a lot of detail, and I hope you will be able to tell the difference afterwards. The body is prepped. The parts that you can see over here on the outside are going to be filled in with a Tamiya PS55 flat clear coat. I also did some cutouts on the inside. Those are going to be filled in with black. Apart from that, I masked off the whole rest with newspapers and masking tape to make sure that I don't get any overspray where I don't want it. After I fill in the black on the inside, I will also fix the silver on the roof. I'm still really bad at muting my phone, so that's like a recurring thing. I will fix the silver on the roof, and after that I will put on that flat clear coat, pull off the masking tape so we can finally fit it to the Kraken cage and see what we got. Okay, paint is done. Time to see what we got here. I won't show you the whole process of unmasking. Just a tiny bit. Right here, you will see when the tape is off completely, but there is a really small difference in shine on the shell between the parts that I have masked up, which is the original shine of the Lexan, and the parts that I put that transparent clear coat on, that flat clear coat. Let me finish this up and I'll show you what I got. Now, since I made this larger cutout over here in the back of that Beetle body, I also have a bit of extra space between the roof of the body over here and the top of the cage. So I decided to put in an extra spare wheel, just like they do in the Baja 1000. They always run with 2 spares, or at least in most of the cases. And I really like that scale look. Well, there you got it, how to revamp an old RC shell, or how to fit a Pro-Line Beetle body to a Kraken cage. It is possible. As you can see, you just take off that front end, modify it a tiny bit, and you're good to go. I really like this Pro-Line Beetle shell. I think it adds a lot of scale looks to any cage, but in particular to this one with those 2 spare wheels sitting on the back of the cage. This car looks like it's ready for the Baja 1000. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the box below. One of those questions might be, can you fit an FG Beetle body over the Kraken? Well, I tried it, you cannot. The Pro-Line, that does work. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed yet, please do, and I hope to see you around.
starts with an itch and a tingle, and then it builds and expands.